How's it going, guys? Gun Chowder here. Going to do another review. Going to be doing a review on my assault rifle, and it took me a long time before I actually picked this one out. I did a lot of research, and I did a lot of looking at all the new ideas that have come out, different types of systems on it. I looked at the DIs. I looked at the AR-15s with the piston on it. And I came to a conclusion that for the money, this is probably one of the best guns out there. And it's a SIG 5.56. I've seen so many people rag on this gun that don't like this gun. And most of the people that I've seen that rag on this gun that don't like this gun pretty much don't own one, or they're AR fans or they're AK fans. And the truth is, it's kind of like a hybrid between the AR and the AK. But if we can put that biased and not be biased on the guns like a lot of people are, this gun is actually a very, very good gun. Actually, it's a great gun. Like I said, it took me a long time before I decided to go with this. And before we go any further, magazine is empty. Safety checked, nothing in there. I did it beforehand. I just did it again because a lot of people wanted to be seen in front of the camera. But it has been safety checked. And the reason I chose this gun, and the reason I think this gun is so awesome, is it got a gnarly system in it that, I mean, and it's a proven system too. A lot of people think it's a new system that came out, but it's actually been in the SIG 550 for many, many years now. And Swiss Army actually uses the SIG 550, which is very similar to this. It's a fully automatic version. And one of the major differences between this and the 550 is the magazines. This actually takes AR type magazines, and 550 actually has like a rock-in type AK style magazine, but it still shoots the 5.56. And SIG's actually letting out a variant of that, a civilian variant that's recently come out, and it's the SIG 5.53. And I don't understand. I guess people are doing it for nostalgia reasons, why they're going with the 5.53, because they want the clear polymer magazines that rock in. But I mean, you're looking at $60 a mag, $50, $60 a mag, and the upper on it's pretty much exactly the same as on the 5.56. And for the price and the availability of the mags, you know, I think the 5.56 is a much better buy. Now this gun right here is pretty much stock, other than the muzzle brake that I put on there. I put a Troy Industries medieval muzzle brake that I'll probably do a little quick review on later on. But I love that muzzle brake. It's a great muzzle brake for the money. You can't beat that. And but yeah, pretty much everything on this is stock, of course, other than the flashlight and scope. But I'm talking about all the parts itself. I haven't messed with any of the internal parts. The original stock that came with it. It got that Swiss style folding stock. That's the Swiss style grip, which I have no problem with at all whatsoever. It's actually a very comfortable grip. And the trigger's great on this gun. And if you take a look at the trigger on this gun right there, if you see right back here, it's actually a single stage trigger that works very similar to a two-stage trigger. And the reason that is because right back here, that little plunger, once that trigger comes back and hits that little plunger right there, it kind of toughens up that trigger, and you can actually adjust that. You can adjust that, so it's kind of like adjusting a two-stage trigger. Now the trigger is great on this gun. It does not need a trigger job at all whatsoever. There's no creep to it, and the more you use it, the better it gets. I mean, when I first got this gun, I said, you know what, it's not a bad trigger. But now I've put about 2,000 rounds through it, and that trigger is just, I mean, it's just so clean, and it breaks at the same spot every single time. You know, I don't have any problem with jerking or anything like that. Like I've told you in other videos before, you know, I did spend a little bit on this money, a little bit of money on this gun, But like I said, it's my primary my primary assault rifle that I have. And but if you notice some of the things that I've done to this, like this right here, that's a poor man's flashlight right there. What I did is I just got yourself a normal scope mount, and the flashlight was still a little too small for it, so I wrapped it up with a little bit of duct tape and went ahead and put that scope mount around it, and it's on there very securely. It's not moving anywhere. I mean, if you're really more into aesthetics, what you could do is you could go ahead and cut this off right here, but I got no problem with it. It functions fine. It does what it needs to do. I also put a foregrip on there. This just keeps the gun more stable when I'm shooting. I use it with a single point sling, so the foregrip adds a lot of leverage to that. Another good thing about this gun, if you notice, turn this around here. If you notice on this gun, it has no buffer tube. All the spring and everything is up in front. That's the only difference between this and an AK-47 on the function of it. Is the AK-47 has a spring on the back, where this one actually has it up front. But it's still the same design, where the piston's actually attached to your bolt and bolt carrier. I might break it down and show you a little bit later. I don't think I'm going to break it down all the way, but I'll take the upper off the lower so you can see that a little later. And it has a folding stock, which is great when you're having a one-point sling and you just bring that stock down, let it hang, and it doesn't really get in your way, and I love that. And the stock is it's also adjustable in length as well. You can adjust the length on the stock in that as well. It comes with another pad on there, but I didn't really find any need for the other pad, a larger pad, because since it's a retractable stock, I mean, you can easily find your sweet spot in there. Whether you like to shoot the gun really up close. I mean, if you like a much farther reach on it, you can go ahead and throw the butt pad on there, but I have no problem, especially with this Simmons scope I got on there. The eye relief is just perfect with the stock like that, the way I have it set up. And this right here isn't an expensive scope. It's a Simmons. It's a 3x9 scope, and it does the job. Like I said, you know, I don't go for the expensive Trijicon or your loophole scopes, which of course I wouldn't mind having one, but like I said, you know, I do pretty much everything on a budget. And if you notice the ergonomics on this gun, they're very similar to an AR. This right here is your bolt release, so it does lock back on your last round fired. So you just drop the magazine out, put another magazine in, you know, and you hit that, and you're ready to go. Or you can actuate it like you would an AK-47, which I find that a lot easier. You know, once it locks back on your last shot, I just pull it back again. Or you can easily hit that bolt on the other side, and it'll release your bolt and bolt carrier. Now the safety on this is very, very AR-ish, where it's right here. You got your fire and you got your safe. You know, it's not like the AK where you have the dust cover that comes down right here. So I like the ergonomics on this over an AK-47. And your mag release is very, very AR-ish. Push it, the magazine actually drops out. It's not like an AK, don't have to rock it in. I love that about that. I decided to go with the 5.56. You know, I was looking at the 7.62 by 3.9. I think the 5.56 is a great cartridge, and I have had no problems with it at all whatsoever. Now, I don't know why this hasn't caught on like I think it should have. I mean, I think this gun right here is excellent. This model right here is a SWAT Patrol. And the reason I opted for this is it has a shortened, the only difference between this one and the SWAT, it has a shortened rail system up here. So where your rail system is doesn't come back to out over here, which in your normal SWAT is. And it's already going to be a little front heavy as it is because of your pistons all up in front. But I don't see a really big difference between this and an AR with the SWAT Patrol model. This is the one I do recommend for weight issues. I really don't need all that extra real estate coming down over here, coming all the way over here. I think I'm fine with what I have right here with as it comes down to the rail systems. You got a lot of mall ninjas out there that want to put everything and anything on their guns. I like the foregrip. The flashlight I keep because when I'm in the house, it's 140 lumens, so it's good blinding capability. So it's more for blinding than it is anything else. You know, somebody comes in at night or anything like that, I have that on there. That's the reason I have that on there. And another good thing about this gun here too, while we're going with ergonomics, I'm not sure if you can see this right here, but it actually has a backup iron sight that goes into your Picatinny rail system, which is sweet because you don't have to buy your backup iron sights, and you don't lose any rail at all because you can actually mount anything else you want to mount on top of that. So, I mean, if you have something on here, a scope mount or anything, you want to bring it back, it can go ahead and mount on top of this. Now, the only thing I did get was a riser because I needed it to clear this front side over here. So I did get a riser on that, and I don't mind that front sight. That front sight's, it's like an HK style front sight. It's a Swiss type sight. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to get your backup sights. It's already there, and it's pretty accurate as well. I sighted that in. You can sight it for windage. You can sight it for elevation. So I sighted that in, and it's pretty easy to do to sight that in. Now I'm going to go back to the system and why I chose this. This system right here, it's pretty much a mud gun. Everything's going to be caught right up here, right up front, in this area right here. You know what? Let me go ahead and break this down real quick so you can get a better view. It breaks down exactly like an AR would break down. It's extremely simple. You got your 2 push pins, which aren't too tight and they're not too loose either. But once you push them out, it's not too difficult to bring them out. Maybe I should have put that slide back. But if you take a look at that right there, that's your bolt carrier. You're not going to get anything, any heat or any gunk or anything at all like that in this area here. That's where your piston is different than your DI guns. And this right here, if you notice, I'm going to pull this back. That right there, that rod is actually attached to your piston. That's part of the piston right here. This rod is part of the piston. So you don't have to worry about any carrier tilt or anything like that because it's not going into a buffer tube. It's actually being pushed and it's all one piece. Actually, it's not one piece. It comes apart, but when you put it together, it comes together as one piece. And I can take that out real quick. That just slides in and slides right out. That's your bolt and bolt carrier. What's good about this is, if you take a look at that, that bolt is very AK-ish, where, I mean, it's very durable. Like I said, it's like it's a mud gun, very AK-like in that sense. But you're getting the accuracy and a lot of the ergonomics of an AR-15. And like I said, you know, if you look at that bolt right there, I can go and I can put 1,000 rounds through the range, and that's pretty much not going to change color from what it is right there. You may get a little bit right here over the casings that come out, but it's not really, you're not going to heat it up, you're not going to have any issues with that at all whatsoever. I mean, I think it's a great design on how they designed that. Get this, I'm at a weird angle here, so put that back in there. And once that's back in there, you got your charge handle that comes off. It's as simple as just pushing this lever down, and that'll come up there. You push that right back in there, and you're good to go. And your whole piston system will come out, your tube and your piston, so it makes it extremely easy to clean. Extremely easy to clean, and extremely durable. And this gun can be thrown into water. You can pull it right out of the water and start firing. You're not going to have to point it forward like you would with your ARs, your DIs, but I'm not going to get into that. I think most of you guys know the difference between a piston driven. Although this one's slightly different. Like I said, it has a spring up here up front as opposed to having it in the back. And like I said, it breaks down pretty much almost exactly like an AR would. You just line them up, put your push pins in, you're ready to go. Now, the weight of this gun is slightly heavier